Wow, an apple, huh? Here I am slamming a beer and you're having an apple. I guess I know how to live.
It's all about balance.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, because like sometimes he's eating what looks like cooked liver.
That doesn't even look like liver.
That doesn't look like liver to me at all.
I mean, I could think of about 40 things I'd put in front of eating that.
Because that might be, he might be telling people that's raw liver with honey on it. Oh my gosh. This looks like you walked into the wrong tent at Burning Man. You're like, no, tell me you didn't bring raw meat to the desert right now.
Oh, goodness. I don't understand. Like, for a guy that's supposed to be such a simplest and minimalist.
And so primal.
You know, and
right?
so primal, you seem to have some pretty fancy shit, you know?
Yeah. Is that those are
Ice
icebox. I was really hoping that was a bubble bath.
Yeah, me too.
That
It would have made it way better.
Way better.
But the fact that he actually got in a cold plunge, like...
With a cigar?
Decreasing inflammation while increasing at the same time. Yep.
We're at a net zero, right?
And then you got the rifles everywhere and, and the Dobermans.
Yep.
And who's this like little Russian boy sitting there too? I've got oh man, this shit too. Trying to be like sex cells. Oh.
The Journey of Liver King 2.0. What is 2.0? Is this his
new? He
new...
rips 2 shirts a day.
Oh, good. I have no words.
Well, you
honestly.
got to give him credit for originality.
Yeah.
You know?
Fair. Hey, and I will say this. He managed to convince a shitload of people who all bought into it. I know people who do this crazy crap.
Oh, geez.
Like, I know people that have tried it and tried living the way that he lives.
Did they have to wipe?
Damn.
Oh my God. I mean, they mustn't have to, because, I mean, if they're spending all that money on extra liver, they probably can't afford toilet paper.
No. And if they have it, it's 2-ply. And you're in a real spot of bother. Sorry about that if you guys tried that.
You guys, Charmin with lotion, okay?
They got reusable dishcloths.
The thing with Liver King where he was a fad, right?
Yeah.
There's this whole image of that, but you also see a grain of it where it becomes more sophisticated. And that's what I think this like carnivore MD guy is. He lives down in Costa Rica. He's got like this awesome compound and stuff, has access to incredible fruits, like super high quality meats and dairy. And while there could be like some benefits to his lifestyle, it's also like an unrealistic representation of how human beings across the world could live their life.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's an unfair example to set as like your goal as well.
Yeah, well, I think there's still variation. There's still variation to the concept. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that they probably have down there that we may not necessarily have access to here.
Definitely.
But, I mean, there could be, variations created. Now, the way I look at all of these different things, at the end of the day, if you can create enough consistency around something that is helping you to get from where you are right now to where you want to be, then stick with it.
Yep.
And stay consistent with it. And whatever that looks like, stick with it as long as it's getting you from point A to point B. And most of the world is constantly chasing these new things because they've never even given option 1, 2, or 3 a long enough try or consistently enough to be able to get it to work.
What do you think about, and I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I have one cheat day a week.
Well, I mean, it makes you really think. Like, some people need that. I'm the same as you. Whereas I need that to know that something's coming for me to be putting in the work that I'm putting in. And, I do like to have junk every now and again, and be honest. Like,
sure.
When I do eat junk, though, I try and eat cleaner junk. Like, I make it myself. I'll make homemade burgers, and I'll, cook sweet potato fries, or I'll get a giant big ribeye steak and I'll eat that.
Or an IPA instead of a Coors Light.
My biggest weakness, to be totally honest, is things like brownies, cookies, ice cream. I love sugar.
Sweets.
But sweets are my kryptonite. Donuts and sprinkles cupcakes, if anybody's buying. You can bring them to the store if you want.
My father-in-law, God bless him, when he was around, if you go through the house, he would hide sweets everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I grew up in the same type of household. My grandmother
Yeah.
was the worst. Like 3 full teaspoons of sugar in a cup of tea this
Yeah.
big. Like, woman, are you having tea with your sugar today? Like,
Yeah.
it was insane. So I grew up in that type of household with
Sure.
my grandma and my granddad. Sugar was just something that came straight up. But candies, lollies, all that type of
Yep.
stuff. But yeah, I think it's okay if you're in a position to be able to do that once a week, then do it. But if you're not happy with where you're at right now, then don't do it as frequently, and set, small mini goals that go longer and longer for yourself to get to that point. But that brings me to something else, right? I don't know if you guys have heard of 75 Hard.
Oh yeah, I
Right?
saw this one.
It's this thing where you read 4 pages of a book every night, and you have these things that you have to do, and you have to do every single one of them for 75 days in a row.
And like work out like twice a day or
Twice
something.
a day
And they're-
workouts.
And then it becomes a habit.
To try and create and break that mold of habit.
And they're good goals to have.
They're really great goals to have. And there's certain parts about 75 Hard that I can greatly appreciate. But the one thing I can't appreciate about it is the exercise portion.
Okay.
Because too much exercise, especially if you train hard, right? If you do it right and you do it smart, yes, it's easily possible. But they're wanting an indoor workout and outdoor workout. There's no real specification on it, but like for someone like me who weight trains for an hour and a half to 2 hours a day plus cardio on top, then going to do another outdoor workout, my central nervous system is going to be fried and my immune system is probably going to take a dump.
So the outdoor workout should probably be
Just
a
a walk.
on the back bay with the dog.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Walk on, but even still, like the body still needs rest and recovery, right? So if you've got extreme goals that you're trying to hit or whatever, you need to take those full rest days to be able to let everything, get
Absolutely.
repaired. So that's where those sorts of things, they're really great for so many parts of what people need, especially when it creates consistency. So if that works for you, then it works for you. Like if this works, if Liver King works for you and you're happy eating liver for the rest of your life, please.
And not
be my
wiping your
guest. Yeah, and well, you're going to save so much money. But at the end of the day, find what you can stay consistent with and just go with it.
This guy's got an interesting one too, where he really goes after plants that people eat, particularly like vegetables, because like the fruiting bodies of plants he's good with. He's like plants evolved for you to eat those. So I think he definitely takes like a little more elevated approach to what he's telling us. I also don't think vegetables need to get a bad rap though, because like we saw the people on the treadmill in the McDonald's, if we try and go too far in either direction, I don't think we're like hitting the goals we're going to have long term. So
But I mean, there's not very many of them, but there are some vegetables you shouldn't eat.
like nightshade.
Nightshade. Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, sure, okay.
Well,
yeah.
even they say carrots you shouldn't have.
But for what reason?
Exactly, because of the sugar content, which
Okay.
makes no sense to me.
So the sugar content of a carrot is minimalistic compared to the amount of carbohydrates and sugar that's in the beer that you drink.
Yeah.
Like, let's just be honest about it. Let's talk
Hey man,
real.
don't screw with my beer.
Well, I had to hang shit on you for something.
And maybe it's like the type of carrots. You shouldn't eat that carrot that was like layered with pesticides and stuff, and that but still that carrot is better for us than this.
Oh, by far, yeah.
And there is absolutely no debate that eating the carrot is probably better for you also than not fucking eating the carrot.
Thank you. Yeah,
Okay,
even your
because there
teeth are
is
going to thank
essential
you.
vitamins and minerals within that our body needs and craves.
Yeah,
Right.
And so it's crazy to me how people will literally do this shit and think that they're helping people. No, you're confusing the shit out of everybody at this point.
So if I eat this shit, I'm gonna get sunburned.
Yeah. You know what? I get sunburned every single time I walk in the sun because I am the whitest human being on the planet.
There you go. Yeah,
But I've never fucking eaten celery.
I'll munch it.
Yeah, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
But I don't go and buy it all the time and snack on it. You know what I mean?
I don't
Well,
do
see, I'm
ants
a
on
little
log.
bit a freak about celery because I love a snack with peanut butter and some
Yes.
celery.
Apples.
Yeah,
Apples
apples
and
with
peanut butter.
yeah.
Oh. Bro, okay, this guy looks like he lives in a tanning bed.
Yeah.
So don't talk to me about celery being bad for you.
And a shirt with kale on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man.
He actually lives right by a really good Point Break in Costa Rica, so I understand. Like,
Oh, the tan?
yeah, but I also get tired of just these chemistry class sounding words getting thrown at me.
Yeah.
Without anything like extra to explain why it's so bad for me.
But let me tell you why. It's literally just a grab. It's not, this is probably the whole video.
Yeah.
But guess how long we have as Fitfluencers, as I like to call them, to engage somebody?
3 seconds.
5
but-
seconds.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're throwing out a bunch of huge, crazy words that people are like, whoa, fuck that. Oh, well, this sounds smart. But, that's just what we live with. We live with a 15-second window at best to be able to get engagement from somebody. And if we're not enticing them to come and talk to us in that time, then see you later.
Oh, see, but I think this was a good point he made, right? Like we were saying about like the healthcare industry
Right.
as a whole. He runs through a snack stand at a hospital here.
Yeah. And see, this is vital information pointing out stuff that really shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Because we all know, like, kids, they're obviously going to be the future, right? So why aren't we using all this vital information that we actually have that suggests that starting a healthier, more full balanced diet younger actually creates way better people?
Because a lot of parents are they're lazy and overworked and this, that, and the other thing, and every excuse under the
But the
book, and
schools-
says, just say, hey, just give them this,
The schools, they do have a choice. The government has a choice to make a change. Like, there's people, I don't know whether I'm supposed to use that word, but
Now you're acting like the government wants to help you.
Well,
those are the worst words in the world. I'm from the government and I'm here to help you.
it's funny because in Australia, they have changed all this shit.
Yeah.
And they have started implementing this into schools, and they are only serving healthier foods that are organic in this. And productivity levels in schools have drastically increased. Kids are getting smarter.
Oh, not in
just
America.
because of
We're
the way
getting
that they've-
stupider. Yeah.
Our government has an inherent interest in helping businesses.
Yes.
That's why the healthcare industry is how it is. That's why food is how it is too.
You'd name me one congressperson, one representative, anybody in that political field that doesn't own pharmaceutical stock.
But I think to your point, like that's where we really like run against ourselves here in the States is like, oh, like we want such like good stuff for these kids. But man, schools like get so political and so does diet that we just can't work against, the 3 companies that own everything on the shelves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the crazy part to me, right? We get sucked into believing the people who run the country and we don't trust them.
Yeah.
We go to the doctor who is run by the government that we don't trust, but we trust what the doctor tells us and we take our pills. But then an industry professional and someone who's in fantastic shape, top of their health, speaks to you about you wanting to change to go to that particular point in your life, and you don't fucking listen.
And we become our own worst enemy.
We want the magic pill.
Our energy is so exhausted in all of the wrong areas that it makes it impossible for some people to be able to see how easy it actually is to create change for yourself.
Well, guys, it's just like these young people and older folks that say, oh, I'll never get anywhere, I'll never be anything. Well, it's because you're not trying. Yeah. Okay? So, guys, listen, try, all right? Hit that subscribe, hit that like. We love you. Peace out.
You heard it here, folks. Listen, try, and see what happens.
And then call the government.
Make sure you've got Medicare.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, don't screw my Medicare.